Hey guys, let me know if you can hear me okay this time. Um, and there's a slight delay, I think, with the chat, so I guess I'm going to wait a couple seconds before I start yammering away. Okay, I'm going to move my microphone, so hopefully it doesn't make a popping sound. Yay, we're live. Hi JD, hi Richard. What is up, Joshua? Thank you for joining me, you guys. Sounds nice and clear, awesome. Yeah, I gotta do something to tamper the sound down as soon as I get around to it. So I'm heading back to the cabin on Monday, so I won't. Hopefully, I'll be back before next Saturday, so I can stream next week. But yeah, I'm gonna be back to the cabin, and you guys know how bad the internet is at the cabin, so that's not gonna be possible. Hey Dale, Lars, Sleepy Sheep. Oh, I love that name. Detective Buckets, D Buckets. Could I call you D Buckets? Hey Arthur. Hi you guys. So yeah, I missed last Saturday, and I remembered streaming twice last week, so I was like, oh, I could probably miss Saturday, but I was camping for 3 nights, 4 days basically, in Yellow Grand Teton. So yeah, I was gone for a bit. Hey Art of Sasuke. Oh man, I'm kind of exhausted right now. I think it's the weather, and I've been like, hammering away at this comic book, so it's been nonstop for me. So if I seem a little exhausted or whatever, then my apologies. Yes, see the Moose Whisperer. Oh my gosh, the moose was insane. So I joked a little bit, but it's actually not much of a joke. It was a few posts ago, like last week, I said something like, what does creating a cyberpunk comic book have to do with a moose? So I'm editing the video right now, or the episode for that, and it's kind of a juxtaposition, more than anything else, and I'm working on this cyberpunk book, and everything is so digital, so I wouldn't say artificial, but kind of in a way. A lot of AI and a lot of things that are man-made, and I just felt like if I'm going to jump into this book and work on it for an extended amount of time, that I needed to get away and actually touch some grass, I guess, sleep in a tent, look at some stars, and run into a few moosin. How do you say moose? Is it moose or moosin? Or meese? Hey Maurice and Calvin, and I'm going to say, Alessandro, yes. Yeah, so the moose, yes, the moose was awesome. The moose was gigantic, and the moose walked across our car, and we made eye contact, and I'm like, please don't destroy my car, and please don't come towards us. But it walked right in front, made eye contact, and just kind of crossed the road, and I was like, I couldn't breathe. It was such a moose, plural is meese. Is it really meese, or is that a joke? It's like geese and goose and geese. Yeah, I was touching grass. Ironically, I don't know if you'd call it grass or sagebrush. Mostly, it wasn't like a ton of grass. I didn't touch any grass, but I did run through the sagebrush, and I got all these little sticky plants into my pants. I was trying to get photos, and so I had to throw my pants away because it was hard to get them off. And yeah, a lot of photographers, in Yellowstone and the Grand Teton National Park area. So anyways, I think I was excited to do that because we got to do plein air painting for the first time, and I don't know if I could ever be any happier to do that kind of stuff, because you dream about it. You want to be Bob Ross, you want to be like all these amazing impressionist painters, from 100 years ago, and I felt alive, and it was a beautiful day, and it's fall colors, so it couldn't have been more perfect. And so it was kind of what I needed right before I did the Kickstarter for this book, because this is going to be non-stop from this point on, you guys. We're talking, a few covers for the book. I'm coloring it right now, and penciling and inking the second half, in a couple of weeks. So it's moving along kind of quickly right now. So I don't know if I have any of the pages to show you guys, but I'll just put these out right now. So that's one of the pages. I just this is the the recent page that I just finished inking a couple days ago. So let me see if I missed anything. We missed it on the side of it. No. Oh, seriously. Oh, okay. So it's not Meese. It's I like to. I'm gonna start calling moose Meese if I see more than one moose. Sleepy Sheep. Yes, there's gonna be a Kickstarter for this at the end of this month, and I'm clamoring to get everything done right now. So I have all the tiers basically with images and stuff, and we've figured out what everything's gonna be. It's just that it needs images to go with it, and so I've kind of going through and coloring these pages right now. And I got this page right here. Teacher joke. I love it. What's the Kickstarter called for the project? Oh, so this is going to be called Neo Wonderland. That's what the Kickstarter is going to be called. As soon as I get that going, we're going to have to go through an approval process. We'll have a pre-launch page, and then I'll send you guys to the pre-launch page so that you can see everything ahead of time, I guess, if that's how it works. Calvin, it is not up yet. I think it's going to be up next week. We're going through the approval process, and right now some of the people at Kickstarter are on a strike to renegotiate their contracts, and so it's a bit of a trying to figure things out. In fact, you know what? I should probably pin the website up on my YouTube. So give me 2 seconds. Actually, moderator, can you please put the web address in your, let me see if it works. No, sorry, 1 second. I still have to do this. I have to open up my other browser. But yeah, there's a lot going on right now, and it's kind of tough to get everything going. And I kind of figured, it wasn't going to be a perfect and smooth process, because nothing ever is. It's always a lot harder than it seems. .com. I think that's right. Okay, so I'm gonna pin the web address up so you guys can, at least for now, here we go, you could at least sign up for the newsletter up until the pre-launch page, and then we'll go from there. Let me know if you have any questions about anything that is going to be included on there and stuff like that. So on the tiers, we talked about it extensively, and we kind of came up with things that we want on there from the last few chats that we've live streams that we've done. Thank you so much, Richard. So I mean, I'm working on cover A right now, so these are the layouts for the cover, and let's see. Oh, you're doing so Richard is finishing touches on second paintings for an event this Thursday. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I kind of got back into painting recently, so I'm kind of addicted to it now. So I like doing little small sketches. Actually, I started doing a couple of, I know this is really way off than what I normally do, but it's some flower sketches or gouache paintings, like little tiny ones. So, and look what I found in here, you guys. So this is an old sketchbook I've had since I was in Seattle, I think. So that was like 8 years ago, at least 10 years ago. Oh, this says 2014. Yeah, it's old. And then I had like some old sketches in here with gouache, and I found a Lola drawing I did in here a few years back. So this was a trip down memory lane, actually. So yeah, this was one of my first gouache sketches I did back in 2015, I think. But yeah, I kind of got back into gouache, and I got like a really huge set of gouache paints recently, which was way more than I wanted to spend on a hobby. Oops. Which is funny because I paint for as a hobby instead of like drawing comic books. So yeah, look at this thing, amazing. Colors are so rich. So anyhow, I'm gonna start drawing this cover now. So this is gonna be cover A, or maybe cover B. I don't know, because there's that one really popular drawing I've had of the comic book for a long time, and since it's been around for so long, I kind of want to use it, but the paper I drew it on was kind of small. It was like an 11 by, was it 15 or something? So it was a little short, and so I'm thinking about doing a new cover. So this is the concepts that I did last night. Main character Saint, and then his brother Shin. with the city in the background. But the thing is, I kind of wanted to have Aya and Pocky, the kitty cat. So I think I'm gonna go with concept 2 or B, which would be the main character. You got Pocky right here, the cat, and then you got Aya right here, the girl, and then you have Shin up here, the brother. So I'm thinking about going with that one, and if at some point I want to use these other concepts for a cover, I could always do that. So, and let's see. So I'm gonna do cover B right now. I need to get warmed up. I mean, like I said, I'm feeling a little exhausted. I've been drawing all week and coloring like a mad person. Oh, this camera's not going to show everything. 1 second. Let's move my microphone back here. Okay. See, I'm left-handed, so I always have to tilt my paper a little bit. So, all right, let's begin. So, how are you guys liking the fall right now? I mean, I know some people it's pretty warm where they're at, but for me, it's very obvious that it's fall now because the leaves have fully changed color. So, I should probably, maybe I'll use this, my Home Depot pencil. What made me pick the name Saint for the main character, Lewis? So it's kind of an ironic name in a way because he is an assassin, and so the name Saint was supposed to mean something when he was younger. He's like, a good kid and everything, and things just went south for him as an adult, or even as a young man in middle school. So the name is kind of an ironic take on it. He thinks he's a good guy, and maybe he is a good guy, but I'm trying to tell the story from the perspective of the character where, you always have to justify your actions, and, I'm not going to judge my character, but he does things, he does things for a means to an end. A lot like Rurouni Kenshin, I guess Samurai X, the original, I guess you could call it prequel, and not the TV show. So... And I took a lot of inspiration from, a lot of the stuff that I grew up watching. Like I mentioned to you guys before, Samurai X. I don't know if you guys ever seen this movie called Fallen Angels by, is it Wong Kar-wai? And the Boondocks, and then the Boondock Saints. So all those shows and movies that I watched as a young person growing up are a lot of like a huge inspiration, and then like playing video games like Devil May Cry and stuff like that. So see, I think that the key is to take inspiration from so many sources that it starts to become its own thing. The Boondock Saints, yeah, silly show. I love it. I was talking with my friend, and we were trying to figure out how to pitch this, like elevator pitch it, and then I mentioned Boondock Saints, and he thought it was funny because it's like, oh, it's about two brothers, but clearly they're not the same. Those kids are not assassins. But yeah, it's an amazing show. Yeah, Whim's lore, Rurouni Kenshin is so deep, and the movies that came out, I didn't get to finish them, but they're gorgeous. They're well developed, and I loved it. So, as per usual, it's the logo right here. I'm trying to be very aware of the shapes because I usually like my sketches better than the final pieces when it comes to mark making and shapes. And so, I mean, sometimes that can distract me, but at the same time, I'm just gonna try to get as close to the way that I sketched it as possible. So you can kind of see it up here. I like those shapes and the movement of the lines. So I'm trying to take reference from this, but then not get so close to it where it inhibits me from like doing something interesting on the page itself, because I feel like I draw better when I'm not really overthinking the lines and I'm just kind of going in for it. So I was gonna pre-sketch the layout kind of before I got on camera because I don't want to sit here and erase like a crazy person, but that might end up happening. Oh, thank you, Louis. So Joshua, do you usually wait until you're halfway through a book to create the cover? I always wait until the end of my 22 pages and double page splash pages to create the cover art. It all depends. Like if I'm working on other people's properties, the cover comes first. But if it's my own book, yeah, I could wait till the end unless I have like this idea that I desperately want to render. Then I would do it ahead of time. But in this case, I kind of needed the covers done before I finished all the pages, just because of the Kickstarter, or else you guys don't have any art to stare at. My audio is echoing. Huh. Not again. Give me a second. When did that start? Did it just start recently? Huh. A second made this feel like. Oh, I wonder if it's the connection, the internet. Sometimes if there's a lag or a slowdown, it just cuts the audio out, right, you guys? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Weird. And it's not even like a, what do you call it? It's funny because it's not even like a wireless connection, and sometimes tech will do that. But maybe when I get used to doing this, I will get like a tech person to help me out like all the time so that I don't have to sit here and be the artist and the tech person and the I don't know what you call it. I never erase, I just start over. Oh, yeah. Will there be a liquid and solid snake relationship? Kind of. I don't know if I want to give it away, but yeah, I think so. I think the relationships in this story is probably a lot more, I don't know if I want to say important or prominent, than like the things that happen around them in terms of the world building, like the cyberpunk world. I mean, it's going to be dystopian as it is, but more so kind of how they deal with the surroundings, because the reality is they grew up in this environment, so it's not like they're super aware of how you and I maybe perceive it, because it's like a day-to-day thing for them. And so I try to take the approach of the story being, if you were growing up in that environment, how would you be if you're so used to it, and then how can you, is there something to take away from it that would be interesting for us to learn from, in a way. I just like to, I think that's why I like cyberpunk, the genre, just because you could explore so many internal and existential issues that we may have, and so that's why. And not only that, but the aesthetics is like a lot of fun to draw and interesting, and you could create so many new things. Like I get to like now live out everybody's desire to see a hoverboard, and so what I decided was like, the hoverboards remind me a lot of like the way that surfboards are or could be, and surfing is just so epic that why not make it so that they treat the hoverboard like it's a surfboard, and when they're dropping down off of a building like this shot right here, it could be like dropping into a wave. And I was just talking to John about this like yesterday. I was like, so like how would you approach coming off of something with a hoverboard? I don't want it to just kind of like rise up vertically and then just hover straight. It wouldn't be fun to draw, and I just think dynamically it just wouldn't be interesting. So I want them to treat their hoverboards like it's a surfboard or skateboard or snowboarding or whatever you want to call it. So whichever sport you like with boards. Oh yeah, yes, Joshua. Yeah, it's more like advertising, marketing, and sometimes though drawing the cover also, it's just one drawing. It could actually help illustrate maybe the mood and the vibe you're going for the project. So it's kind of cool to actually have a cover to look at, so it kind of draws you to like, yeah, this is going to be a real thing, so. try not to noodle around too much. And then buildings down here, so I'm gonna jump around a little bit with this cover. I don't want to sit here and erase, like I said. I just want to put the lines down, kind of establish the composition. I just got a weird text message and I don't know who it is. A lot of spam lately on my phone, like call numbers from weird places I never pick up, but it's so interesting. What was I gonna say? Somebody said something about, are you going to add a blimp to that page you were working on the last episode? Actually, I didn't add a blimp yet, but I did add a bunch of hovering ads and billboard signs and stuff, and then one of them happens to be for the arcade comic book store slash bar slash gaming establishment that we talked about a couple episodes ago as a joke, but now it's like real. So if you go to the first page, you'll see like an ad for the game room. So, and you'll see an ad for a couple other things that's going to be part of the story. So at first I was just going to put a bunch of random ads up there, but I'm like, well, why not make it part of the story, which that took forever yesterday. I think I spent 5 hours creating those billboard signs. So I think, did I miss anything? I lost my train of thought. Okay, so I gotta. Yeah, it was so Chuck. Fallen Angels is that. Yes, it was a '90s flick starring Leon Lay, Michelle Reese, Takashi Kaneshiro, Charlie, I think, and am I missing something? There's a couple other actors in that movie, but it's so gritty, and the deep thought that he put behind the story of, like the characters and the ending. It doesn't seem like it. It seems a little random, but I love the everybody's motto, and it was just such a cool movie. So it was showing stuff without showing stuff. Oh, so it's on HBO Max now? Awesome. I think I paid for it. I think I paid for it on Amazon or something like that a bit ago. So to rent it, and I was in love with that movie. TM Aspen fam. Stuck in traffic. Stuck in traffic and you're able to get this. That's awesome. Oh, the hoverboards, everybody turns into Silver Surfer. Richard, yes, everybody is Silver Surfer in my comic book. Not everybody. So like that's the cool thing. I was like thinking about it yesterday. How many people are using hoverboards? I think I'm going to treat hoverboards like I would treat like a real vehicle nowadays, or like a skateboard. Not everybody's using it. Only the ones that are just kind of like a little rebellious and just they want to get around, and so that's kind of how they use it. And there's people who still drive on roads, even though there's a lot more AI helping them and assisting them with the driving. There's still people who are able to do that, and there's like special licenses for people to control their own cars and stuff like that. And then there's the flying cars, which I think I mentioned it in a couple of episodes ago. It's they use a HUD and an AI to basically control the movement of the car, so you're not like gonna crash into another car in the air or something like that. So, and then there's like outdoor venues that are floating in the air with like not hydraulics. Well, yeah, I guess so. it's like hovering in the air and it's super big and heavy. And there's racing in this comic book, and the race cars are actually older cars that they basically repurposed and kind of souped up so that they could race these cars like a Skyline or an RX-7, or I'm sure I'm missing a few really Sylvias and stuff like that. So you could race these cars, but they're souped up for the future, and and for trademark purposes, I modified them quite a bit. But that's kind of because the concept behind the location in Wonderland is it's a man-made island country, so it was kind of built on recycled products and garbage and things that are thrown away, and things that are no longer used in the rest of the world. So cars would be one of them, and so that was kind of how I introduced older cars, because I don't want it to be because imagine me having to create everything from scratch just because it's the future. That would be very time consuming, and there's nothing tethering the concept to real life and things that we're familiar with, familiarity. Where's in the comment book? Are they affordable or just for the rich? That's a good question. I'm thinking it's got to be at least upper middle class, and then you got the really expensive flying cars, and then the cars on the road are just like repurposed older cars that basically, let's just say the start of when cars basically could drive themselves in a way, and so it's kind of a bit of that. And then the roads are built with like some kind of a magnetic field that keeps the cars basically in line with the road and stuff like that. So I'm trying to figure that out in the trains. So like how trains work maybe. So it's more of a rail system. I'm just trying to figure out where it makes some sense. I know that I can't sit there and try to like invent all these things, but at the same time I wanted to put some thought into it so that I could ground myself to this world, and not break my own rules of the universe, I guess. Of my universe, I should say. These are such loose lines right now. I'm probably going to erase Saint in the middle and push him down a little bit more. And I'm glad I'm doing this a little bit more loose than I normally would, because I would hate to, when you draw something and you are so committed to how a certain line looks or certain part of your drawing that you refuse to erase and fix it, and so you end up stuck with an interesting drawing, to say the least. Oh, okay. And do I know why racing like NASCAR started? I'm assuming it's because they didn't want people to race cars on the road. But do let me know. I should probably research that stuff. I started to try to watch a bunch of specials on racing, and I know they have a bunch of shows on online right now, but I haven't gotten around to it yet because I feel like I have to sit there and pay attention if I'm going to learn anything. Because the more I know, the easier it'd be for me to put it into my story and have it be believable. Because, like I said, this is a fictional future that's kind of based off of some reality. So here we go. We're going to erase. Not afraid, because there's hardly anything on here. So you could look into how they did it. Ooh, did Samsung really build a hoverboard? That's awesome. Landfill Island. Yes, basically. That's what it is. You could call it that. F1 is awesome. Nice. I didn't get to watch the movie yet. I was supposed to, and I never got around to it in the theater, so now I'm going to have to rent it when it comes out, if it's already available. Or not already available with Brad Pitt online yet. But I wanted to see it, on the big screen, because it would be really cool to see the cars go past you. super loose and messy. I'm trying to make sure I don't draw anything in the wrong spot because the logo, the trade dress has to go on here. So see, here I go again. I'm like looking at my sketch like, oh, I like how it looks better. Didn't scan it yet, so I can't exactly light box it, which I was gonna do initially, and I still may, but I already started using this really good paper. So Tron Ares, I did not, I think I watched, maybe I didn't watch the trailer, or was it a teaser for the new Tron movie? Oh, okay, so the F1 movie is over dramatized. That's interesting because I think they were trying to go for the Top Gun vibe, sort of, and yeah, that was my understanding of it. So but I think you could actually watch the real, like the reality one versions of it. Reality, I wouldn't want to call it reality shows because they're just basically behind the scenes online, and it seems pretty dramatic as it is with racing, the rivalries and everything. And I mean, you're in a car going like, how many miles can those things go? Like over 200 miles an hour or something like that. F1 Drive to Survive. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. I used to have this funny thing I thought about with people who like would buy, like Honda, the hatchback edition of the Honda, and they would soup it up, and I was like, why don't you just, with all the money you spent on your car, why don't you just buy a car that's already kind of built to look a certain way and perform a certain way? And now I get it. Or I mean, a few years later, I'm like, okay, I get why people do it for sure. And now I'm doing it in a comic book, so I can't really say anything. Back in the 1920s, during Prohibition, people would do things to their cars to make them go faster than run police so that they could drive. Well, yeah, I get it. Yeah, so they were, what do you call it? Runners, right? Or I'm blanking here. You know what I'm trying to say. They are. What's the word? Rum runners, yeah. Rum runners, and what's the other one? They were bootleggers, right? That's very interesting. I had no idea, but that makes perfect sense now. Because I haven't like seen anybody do that in a movie, unless I'm I missed out on it. But I think it'd be kind of cool to see a movie where that's what they do, is they soup up their cars so they could outrun the police, and it's like bootleggers and rum runners and stuff like that. So that would be kind of interesting. Because usually when you see it, the movies, they kind of only focus on like the showdown with the police and everything. I never got to finish Peaky Blinders, but I wonder if they did that in the TV show. Okay, I'm gonna try to lock these figures in so I can actually go in and make this look pretty, because right now it's kind of a mess. Okay. Focus on this head because he's going to butt up against the logo of the comic book. Any tips on drawing hair? I think in order for me to give you the tip, I guess, what kind of problems, or not problems, do you have any issues with drawing hair? Like what kind of issues do you run into? Do you over render and add too many strands? Or does it not take shape because because you're not sure how to focus in on the shapes and make it, you know, a certain hairstyle, I guess. Because I could show you really quick, like right here. So for hair, since he's got a top knot and it kind of sprays out a little bit, his shape is going to be like this. You know, I just chunk it together. Let's see if I can find something. So like for example, her hair. If I was to draw it like this, I already know the angle is going to come out, so it's just a really basic shape of just, in fact, she's right here. So her double ponytail would go like this. So I actually just draw the shape first of the hair, and then I go in there and render out the strands later. And I usually do them in chunks, and I think it's more interesting that way, and it's easier too. So this would be the shape of his hair, which when it's done, it's supposed to look like this basically. And so Shin's hair is kind of sharper, so you see how that looks. I just kind of do, you know, like a V shape, and I know that the angle is gonna, I mean, it's not overly exaggerated, and I kind of want to go with that look so it's a little bit more realistic. So I do the basic shapes first, and then I go in there and fill it in with like ink or pencil or something. And depending on the kind of angle you want to go for, the thicker the pencil, I think the easier it is to get those really big broad shapes for the hair like that. So I hope that answers a little bit of it. So just go with the big broad shapes first, and then go in with detail later. I mean, I know there's a tendency, and then I think once you get used to it, it becomes easier to do, you know. So so it doesn't take. Okay, let's see if I missed anything. I think in the early days, American gangsters, a lot of guys. Gangsters started out as runners and bootleggers. Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense, Joshua. Do you know Nathan Fox's work? Amazing ink work. He does some fun stuff with the futuristic world of the Weatherman. Might be fun to check out if you don't know it. Great energy in his art. Okay, Nathan Fox. I might have seen it, but I don't recognize his name, so I'm going to have to check Nathan Fox out. David Finch's midstream mini tutorials. Oh, yeah. David Finch is a legend. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was doing Shin. And you know, I wish I could draw at an angle right now because he's so high up there that I probably have to look at the screen to see what it looks like because it's at a weird angle right now. The camera is, so, or the pages. I didn't wear my glove today, and I'm starting to notice we have to put on the glove. So let's keep going with the hair thing. I don't know if this helps at all, but yeah, you see the big chunks, and he has dark hair, so I'm just going to shade it in. I don't know if I have any scratch paper, so I can show you a different type of hairstyle. I guess I could draw on this. I do have scratch paper. Okay. So for hair, draw the ball as the head. Okay. So if someone has curly hair, I guess, like wavy, it's kind of like mine, you could kind of squint your eyes a little bit and, you know, draw the outline or the basic shape. So that's my hair, maybe, I guess, curly hair. And I realize with curly hair, it's, I mean, this is, I'm overgeneralizing, but I feel like if my hands are closer, it gets to the shapes better for me when it's curly hair. But it all depends on the scale and size of the piece. So, and since it's, I'm pulling down because it's long hair, so. There's moi. Your little forehead. There you go. Dots for eyes. So that's a quick approach to hair, and then, you know, you can shade it and stuff. That's wavy hair. With your glove, it's shades of Michael Jackson. That's funny. I would love to see David Finch draw Saint. Oh, I would love to see David Finch draw everything. David, please work with me. When you were learning, do you prefer to study draw for real life from photos or from other artists? I think all of the above. If I had it my way, though, I would love to draw from life. In fact, there's a life drawing class that's coming up here in the downtown in the art center. So I probably want to do 1 or 2 sessions before they are done for the season. I think drawing from life is better. It's good to practice with other artists because they maybe like they make shapes a certain way that you like, and then it's good to kind of like copy masterworks for a bit, and then you know, kind of find your own style. It's kind of like a jumping off point you know, once you feel comfortable. And then pictures is probably the most accessible, and it's good, you know, just for when you don't have access to real people and you need to learn certain different types of anatomy, and, you know, just animals, whatever it may be, just things that are easily accessible online that you can't find in real life. But it's good to also learn how to draw in real life as well. Most definitely probably the best way. But see, when I show you my students how to draw hair, I tell them to draw the shape of the pieces of hair and then go into the detail. Yes, that's I think that's probably the easiest, quickest way to go about it. What was I doing? Wrong pencil again. Let's see. I'm kind of stuck on looking at my sketch because I like the shapes of that I made on the sketch. Yes, life drawing teaches you more, and it also helps you understand how to pick and choose your what lines you make and to indicate, you know, what you see. And I think I learned this from like doing plein air painting. Is you basically now you have more, you know, access to different shades of values and colors, and you interpret it. Whereas when you take a picture or you see a picture, you don't have all the information, and so you're just not copying, but you're kind of beholden to some extent to the reference material that you have. So drawing from life is probably better for making things more dynamic, I guess, and it helps with the creativity too, because you'll have like a really good encyclopedia in your head once you've done it enough times, where you could just draw from that or from that source. Hey Cleaver, you are late, but you did make it. You didn't miss anything. I'm just noodling and erasing like a lot. Not as much as the first live stream we did with Morrigan from Darkstalkers. I think I erased everything halfway through it because I didn't like it. But it turned out okay, and I enjoy drawing her, and she has been mailed off to the person who commissioned her. So I did a few other commissions too. So I'm going to be doing Savage Land Rogue this weekend. I think after this live stream I'm going to have to do that because I do commissions on the weekends. Because my list is halfway done, and because I want to make sure all of that's done before I before I have to do the Kickstarter for this book. So don't like it. Don't like it. I'll leave his paint. I should not focus on his face. I should be doing the big shapes. So here we go again, you guys. Erasing the face. Yeah, I've been kind of busy. That's why I needed to go camping before it was going to be nonstop for the next 4 months or so, working on the Kickstarter, the book, the everything, and this next week we're going to have to go check on the cabin to make sure everything's running okay and working okay, because we haven't been back for almost 6 months now, and it's being rented out. So that's also a business in itself, but it gives us enough time to do all this other stuff. So instead of worrying about paying for another property, I guess. How was camping? Oh my gosh, it was so relaxing, except the last day we were there, or was it the second day? We left half of the tent to fly open so that we could see the stars, and I woke up and my pillow was wet, and my sleeping bag was kind of wet to the side. It's because the moisture got trapped, and so yeah, that was unpleasant, because then I got like a scratchy throat for a couple days. And in fact, I might even I came down with something just a little bit. So then again, I haven't really been sleeping a whole lot because of working on this book, so I need to do better. I gotta take care of myself right now. But then again, I kind of knew that this is going to be a marathon, but when I planned this out, I was like, okay, how much of this can I do where I'm doing nonstop, and how long can I go for before I gotta refuel and recharge and make sure that I don't overextend myself? And I'm thinking just 2 months of hard work and working crazy hours, and then I could probably take a step back and slow down just a little bit. But 2 months, I could do 2 months, not like a year though. That'd be pretty crazy. And lucky for me, I have a small team that's helping me with some of the stuff, so I'm not like doing everything by myself, but definitely creating the art, it's mostly me for now. I haven't figured out who's gonna letter the book yet. I have some options and might even do it myself, so I do not know just yet. Hello, Desena. Dart says, I've taken a long break from art, but getting back more into it now, having the portfolio requirements changed all that much. Have the portfolio requirements changed all that much? I read it like it was a statement. No, I think requirements for portfolios are basically the same thing. 5 pages of storytelling, and then if you're talking about comic books, but if you're talking about like video game, then the concept art, same stuff, nothing changed. Ideally, no AI art, I guess, would make a lot of sense, because I'm sure that some places use those as tools to some extent, but I'm sure that they still want to see you be able to create those things with the what is it? For the purpose of whatever the project would be, I guess, whether it's concept or comic book art. Like you made of steel, crumbed under the pressure. I am not. I definitely, there's nights where I'm just like, why am I doing this to myself? But then I can't not do it. I can't not do this, you guys. I have often thought, like, if I wasn't drawing comic books, what would I be doing? There's a lot of things I could do, but then at the same time, I worked all my life to get here, so it would be a bummer if I just decided not to do it anymore. We gotta put some faces in here so that. There we go. Oh. He has a generic face. And usually when I'm concentrating, I kind of go silent for a little bit, so bear with me, I guess. Oh, thank you, Louis. I'm nervous. I think I told you guys. I know some people are like, you have nothing to be nervous about. You've been doing this for so long. I don't think it ever gets easy. I'm super nervous because there's no guarantees in life. In fact, yeah, there's issues I've already ran into, not issues, but some things that I have to fix, and I feel like when it comes to running a business, you're more just like putting out fires most of the time. That's what half the business is, and then once you've figured out how to put out the fires more efficiently, then you become, then you can actually go do your thing, do the thing that you started doing it for, like having fun drawing and making stuff up, and but yeah, just putting out fires here and there and problem solving for the most part, which I'm learning to love spreadsheets, because you kind of have to find the joy in the mundane things. Otherwise, this is going to be a rough road for me. Not to say that it's not rough already, because while I'm trying to draw, in the back of my mind, I'm like, shoot, did I plan that correctly? Did I budget that correctly? Am I going to run into problems with the schedule and with the marketing part of everything, because algorithms change so much all the time. Like before, it might be working one week and the next week you're like, okay, that changed, and now I have to change my approach as well. So because at the end of the day, this is my baby. I want this book to be as good as I can make it, and then consistent, because this is going to be my bread and butter for the next however long, because I have the story arc is going to take at least 3 volumes to get through the first part of the story. So, but these are my guys, my dudes. I've had them for years, and I'm excited to show the world the story. And I haven't really said a whole lot about the story because I want to make sure when I roll it out, since it's been so long, that it's not going to be like an overhype and it's like fall flat on its face. So it looks cool, but the story sucks. That's not what I want. So. And mind you, I've changed tidbits of the story here and there, things that I don't think affect the overall story, I guess, and characters. And I guess that's what's nice about working on your own property or your own creation, is you could actually change things as you go along if you find something that works better than what you initially had. In fact, I saw a really short mini documentary someone made about Miyazaki, and his process was pretty, on the outside it looks chaotic because he wouldn't finish the whole entire story, and they would start drawing stuff already, and then he'd go in there and add more stuff and change stuff, and they'd be animating or doing the animatics already, and he'd still be working on the story and the script, and then kind of rolls it out slowly. So that's how he works, and that's how a lot of people I know, they also work that way. I was working with Francis Manipul and Peter Tomasi on Rockefellers, and there is a fluid process, and the fact that we're all basically kind of working together, we kind of ebb and flow and make sure that the story goes where it's supposed to go, even though we change a few things. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. And I think it's a little bit like working the Marvel way, where the writer and the editor would kind of say what the story was, and then the artist had to go in there and figure out the panels and how the story was gonna unfold, which is a lot more fluid, than some of the other processes, I guess. Okay, is it still echoing? Oh, what is going on? I think it's OBS. I didn't do anything, I swear to God. I think it's just the streaming, and so it's something like it's glitched up, and then all of a sudden the mic just goes out or something. Or it might be like an auto feature with the audio mixer. I'll look that up afterwards, or I could have my moderator look that up for me really quick. Why does OBS echo audio sometimes? Faceless guy. Okay, so every time I echo. Thank you. I have to draw kitty cat. I should probably draw faces. Why would you be here watching this stream if I don't end up drawing any faces, you guys? So, All right, I'm going silent again so I can focus on the face. I want it to be like a top-down lighting source, so the light's gonna come from above and it's gonna make his face in shadow, kind of like a really strong light. Hello, Archidelia. Archidella. Hello, thank you for joining us. So every time I echo, never mind, it's fixed. Oh, yeah, every time it echoes, just let me know so I can see how often that actually happens during the stream, because I think it was like last week or something, or the last stream I did. Remember that wireless microphone? It was super quiet, and then all of a sudden it got really loud. So. I'm gonna bring him down a little more so I could draw it better. So Richard asked, have I figured what to include in the Kickstarter? Yes. We're gonna have the black and white edition of the book. I think that's gonna be one of them. Sketchbook, a couple of connecting covers. We're gonna have a special Pocky the cat tier where it's all Pocky stuff. And in fact, you know what, let me grab something really quick. This is just a prototype and it's a little bit bigger than we thought it was gonna be, but we're working on that right now. So I'll grab a couple things to show you guys. Let's see here. There is stickers. Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh. So we have prototypes of this, and we're working on it still. It's Pocky he tried to go after the fish, and it's stuck stuck in his helmet. So, and then we got Pocky stickers, holographic stickers, and we got his buddy Garrus, flying AI cat, or not AI cat, but like a holographic cat. So these are just prototypes. I like to have things in hand and to plan it, because what if I plan it out and then we get it made and I don't like it or something, and the Kickstarter has already happened and people already started ordering it. So I like to make sure I have prototypes of everything, paper quality and stuff like that. So yes, this was created by the awesome moderator that you guys see on my my stream by, I think it's, where's the screen name? Is it Doodly Dawn created these, so we're working together on this stuff right now. So yes, Doodly Dawn by yours truly, yes. So we're gonna have the black and white edition. We're gonna have some variant covers, and then trading cards, sketchbook, and then special thanks in the we're gonna have a special thanks page in there, or pages depending on how many people back it. And then I think I said sketchbook already. Yeah, sketchbook, black and white edition. I think we're doing t-shirts maybe. I have to go back and look. There's a few things I'm still working out, but those are the definites right there. Hey Joe, I am good. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm such a nerd. Like the stuff that I'm making, or geek, I shouldn't say nerd. Um, I'm just geeking out over all the little merch stuff. It's like, growing up, this was the kind of stuff that you wanted, right? It's kind of like Ninja Turtle cereal. I wanted my own, or Ghostbusters cereal. Remember that with the colorful marshmallows? Not that I'm gonna do that, but it's kind of cool. The stuff that you get for free in the cereal boxes. That's kind of my vibe that I'm going for, and I think we're gonna have like adopt the Pocky tier where you have like a little certificate, and depending on when you back that tier with just all Pocky merch, you're gonna have a number on your certificate. So if you're the first person to back that tier with Pocky, then you adopted the original Pocky, and then everyone consecutively is like a clone of Pocky, basically, virtual Pocky. So that was one of my ideas. I thought that'd be kind of fun. Should we start taking bets on if Vince would pop in the chat? I I'm afraid to, because what if this is the one day he doesn't show up? I'm gonna be so. I should text him right now, you guys, and go, "Hey Vince, where are you at?" I'm gonna text Vince, okay? So don't make any bets because you're probably gonna lose. Okay, so now let's see if he pops up. It's like we can't go on without Vince. Vince and Joey. I don't see Joey either today. Oh yeah, TMNT cereal. The only problem with the TMNT cereal is I think the marshmallows. I remember correctly because they tried to put the mask on it, or they had the turtle mask. So if you didn't eat it fast enough, the marshmallows would turn like a brown. It would be so gross to look at, and it wouldn't be cool anymore. Yeah, I'd be like Donatello or Michelangelo would make like the brown looking marshmallows in the cereal, so it wouldn't be as good. Or I mean, it wouldn't be as fun to eat, I guess, or look at. I think Ghostbusters is a lot better. The color being pretty still. Remember Lucky Charms? Oh man, I haven't had cereal, like kid cereal, in ages. I think I need a harder board. You know what? I might do that. Let me grab my light table. Or much better. Why do I sound like that? Is it my echoing, or is it just the way I talk? Did I echo? I mean, sorry. Did I echo again, you guys? I don't know. I'm just not vibing with this his face right now. Maybe use a shorter pencil. Okay, Lewis, thanks for stopping by with us. We'll see you next week, hopefully. problem was I was just talking so much that I never got into my flow state, and so I'm not really, when I'm moving my hands, I'm not really actually drawing or even thinking. I think I want him to smirk. That would make more sense. A little bit better. We'll get there. So how many of you play video games and read comics? Because I was always wondering, like, if there's a decent chunk of a crossover, or if not. Yay! Vince, I didn't realize that you were always an hour too late. I think there was one time that you showed up like right at the beginning. Was I wrong? So I take it you got my text message. It's a good thing we didn't start making bets, huh? So Vince, should I tell everybody how our matchup turned out in fantasy football? Oh, I know, it's been rough, especially after I beat you, right? Trust me, I thought I was going to lose. I completely gave up already, and then something weird happened, and I came back and won. So, you know, Dak Prescott showed up. I don't know if I have a chance this week, though. I feel like I'm just getting by this season with luck more than anything else. Because most of my dudes were injured, and some people are just not performing. So I think it's more luck this time around than it was strategically picking guys that are doing their thing. I'm gonna have to, you know, what would be really cool is if I made a make-believe cereal box for my comic book. So you'd have Pocky marshmallows and all the characters. Be kind of cool. But then it'd be sad because they're not real cereal and you can't eat it. I don't like his face, but we're getting somewhere. I think I just didn't warm up enough today, so it's taking me a while to get the shapes that I want. It's funny with drawing, if you don't warm up, even if you've been drawing the whole time, as soon as the next day happens, it all goes away again. So co-op with Magic Spoon. Man, I think I want this book to be successful just so I could start making funny, silly things like that. Just because it'd be neat for me. I wonder what the logistics are to make your own cereal, like a miniature, you know, like those sample pack cereals. So they're tiny little cereals. It can't cost that much, but, you know. I'm just curious. I'm going to look into it, I think. Yeah, Richard, I should have warmed up, but I mean, I was doing thumbnails and just a bunch of business stuff this morning, so when the cover's done, sadly, it might not look, you know, the composition will be the same, but I might have changed their faces and all that stuff because I'm just noodling way too much right now, so. There's a local coffee shop in Vegas called Grouchy John's. I know the owner, and he is a fan of my comic books. He gave me permission to have Grouchy John's, its logo, etc., appear in my comic books. Oh, that's awesome. That is very awesome. Yeah, getting the rights to do things is tricky, and then you have to wonder if like the investment to do it, like certain IPs, if it's worth it. But I guess I've been thinking about this, like what IP would I want for myself if I were to, buy it or license it, I guess is what I should have said. So we just leave his face like that until I come back. Should probably work on Pocky. Did I miss it? How many people were in the fantasy draft? Shangri-La Lucky Charms. Yes. Shangri-La Lucky Charms. What would I name it? We gotta just start drawing Pocky. Now he'd probably be looking up more. I actually wrote like a little silly scene that I didn't have in the comic book before with Pocky, and I'm trying to figure out how I could fit it into the 40 pages of Pocky doing something Pocky-like. He's a grouchy cat, or at least he doesn't like Shin. He doesn't like the brother of the main character at all, so they kind of get into little tiffs all the time. I feel like I'm just warming up right now instead of actually working on the cover, because I'm sure I'm going to erase a bunch of this stuff later. Oh well, I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to go for it. Yeah, I can make the book 50 pages and add 10 pages of Pocky. In fact, I think I might include, because for my old mailing list, I actually have Pocky comic strips, and I could probably include that in the Kickstarter as well. So you can have the printed versions of the comic strip. Let's see, I think I might have it right here. I had to finalize the logo this week, and I can't find it in Illustrator, so we've got it designed already and everything, but I think it's actually on the official site. So I'm going to put in placeholder faces, just so we could get moving along. Pocky stretch goals. It's funny, somebody messaged me and they said, oh, I see that the Pocky comic book is going to be on Kickstarter. It's like, it's not his comic book, but you might as well say it is, because I'm sure in his head he is the main character, so. I made it so that Pocky does, I wouldn't say human-like things, but he's kind of able to open doors and stuff, and boxes and attack and all that, so he's gonna play a little role in, you know, the story itself. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. So I am going to include Pocky, I think, in the one of the stretch goals, maybe, but we'll see. Or maybe he has it's in his own thing too. So we'll figure out how to do all that. And this cover, as soon as it's done, will be available for one of the tiers, so you could buy the original cover. I have not figured out if I was gonna color it on paper, like, you know, with paint and markers, or if I'm just gonna do it digitally and just keep the black and white edition. So what do you guys think? Because I do like keeping my, you know, line art and black and white art, but I do think that coloring would be kind of cool. Maybe the variant cover I could do it with paint. That way, you know, we keep a consistency with the interior art and, you know, the way I color that, and the what do you call it? And the cover art for the cover A. So why am I not, like, I think it's just such a, I'm not holding my pencil right or something. So if it goes like this. So speaking of hair and shapes of hair, I gotta get this right. I'm all about the shapes, and I'm just not grooving with my the shapes I have going. I got like a bajillion pencils over here. Don't need all this. It's gonna distract me. Oops. I think that's better that way. Yeah, it's a tough choice. So I think what I might do, though, realistically, is do this in just with the ink, and then the variant cover, I think one of them I could do it in with paint and markers. So okay, so I'm thinking, yeah, let's do that. Let's do the black and white, and I have more fun doing that. I love inking, and I do a variant cover with marker, I suppose. Plus, it makes more sense if I do the black and white edition for this to have the inked version. So I'm excited for the black and white edition. I love black and white art. So I remember just earlier giving someone feedback on how to do hair, and right now I'm having a hard time with hair. See, it does not know best. That's why I ask you guys for feedback, because I'm like, I don't know. I'm so indecisive. I want everything, but then you can't have everything, so. Awesome, black and white version, sweet. So we will make this black and white. And we're gonna have the arcade and the comic book like we discussed. It's kind of fun. Like I get to have all these cool little Easter eggs from our conversations on my live stream. It's like our inside joke, and it brings back memories. So it's more personal. So I'm doing this and shading it in so I could see the shapes better, but also because they are mostly wearing black, so it's just easy for me to figure out where to ink everything. Oh, it's Inktober, yes. Oh yeah, I know. And I'm not even inking right now. I'm gonna make up for it maybe next week and ink something next week. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I try to figure out like what I haven't done yet or we need to get back to doing on my stream. So like last week we did some coloring, or the previous, I think it was last week. The previous week we did coloring, and then we did commissions. But I think for a while I'm just, anything I'm working on, like, you know, with this book, I'm just gonna do that. So I think next week we're gonna ink something. And let me know if you guys have any ideas for what you would want me to show you on here or just stream. So I know that I don't really show the thumbnail process, but this is kind of like the thumbnail process. It's just much bigger. Thank you so much, Mr. Docs, for the super chat, and I'm glad that I can inspire you in some ways. You guys basically inspire me to keep going, so it's only fair. Awesome. Yeah, you know what? I want to do Inktober, but this is definitely not the year to be doing it for me. So in a way, this is my Inktober, I guess. Even though I want to do prompts, I think that'd be kind of fun, you know, just to kind of stretch my horizons and my subject matter. Although I think, you know, painting flowers is kind of different, isn't it? Speaking of painting, I don't think you guys could see in the back, but it's hilarious. You know that moose that we saw? I mean, I should show it to you. John went on like a painting frenzy and bought all this paint, and like he painted this moose over and over again. So yeah, he's got 3 moose paintings behind me, so on the bookshelf. And I've been painting flowers, so that's kind of how I unwind. I just paint, and I know it's also drawing, but that's like my hobby. I just, you know, have to. If I could do anything, I'd be drawing all the time, but just different things. I only color something if I have planned to sell it and use it for color reference. Yeah, I love coloring, so if I have time, I definitely just color. Do you not copy the art at each stage, as that would give you the options? Wait, I'm sorry, what did I miss? I asked. Oh, wait, sorry. See, I asked you about the Canson bristle taking ink wash a while ago, and I'm glad I listened. This paper holds up better than the mixed media paper I used before. Huge thank you for that one. Oh, awesome. Yes, trust me, I know when I really screw up and I didn't test it ahead of time, and it warps and it rips when I take the artist tape off. It's scary. So I'm doing it's color. Do something. Me too, Joshua. So, do you not copy the art at each stage, as they would give you the options? Do you mean like what do you call it? Do I scan and scan and then on different stages and then go back to it? Sometimes I do, and especially right now, I actually started to scan all stages of my work before I ink it and stuff, just so I have my references. Plus, when I write, I actually sometimes, if I'm doing dialogue, I write it on the page itself, and while I'm drawing, and then if I don't remember what I wrote, I have to go back and like look at my scan. So I was almost ready to make a Pocky face that time. There we go, buddy. He's wearing his helmet. he's going to war, so I might change that later. But for now, this is our placeholder pose for Pocky. Oh, no worries, Echo. Nice to have you here. Vince was late, and then he shows up. Now all is good. Yeah, I always scan my work. I have to scan all my work because it's my job. So I scan like even things I shouldn't be scanning. And you know, I have an art rep, so I like to scan things for her as well. So most of the stuff I have is scanned, except for maybe all my insane amounts of sketches that I have in my sketchbook. And you know, once I finish this first volume, I might release a new sketchbook and get it printed actually on better quality paper than I did before on Amazon. So I'm sure I'm going to erase again, but you gotta start putting lines down. I'm like go Grimoire to your Jimmy Kimmel show. And what did I miss? I was off doing my own thing. I was coloring in Marvel Rivals Daredevil piece and posting some on Instagram. Oh, awesome. Yes, I hope you guys are actually drawing along with me or doing something fun. Because this is like a drink and draw without drinking. I have my coffee. I haven't even finished yet. Oh, thank you so much, Echo. I don't know how clean they are. It looks kind of messy in my brain. I'm like, ooh, so much going on here. Thank you so much, Stefan. I appreciate you stopping by really briefly. Shall we? I finally made it. State of the art. Yes, you finally did. That's awesome. I'm so glad that I'm just like taking my time right now so that you guys could come and hang out with me, because I'm feeling a little rusty still. Getting there, but I feel like I have to draw for another half an hour to kind of get used to it again. I've got coffee and a comic page, adding a wash to. Nice. Awesome. Curled up with my phone listening and doing pixel art. Aw, sweet. Pixel art is cool. I don't think I've actually officially done any pixel art, unless me trying to make a side-scrolling game with my bear, Scrappy, on the iPhone counts as pixel art, but that was a little more high-res, even for an iPhone game. Cool. So Echo, aside from Daredevil, I'm also doing the same thing with fan art, some Marvel zombies. Awesome. October, so I thought of doing something ambitious and spooky. That's so cool. We're all getting into like the fall October vibes. I'm tempted to buy a pumpkin, but I'm like, why would I buy a pumpkin? I could put the pumpkin behind me so you guys could see it, but I wouldn't be carving it. That's the problem. I don't think I've successfully carved a pumpkin yet, so. Oh, just broke my pencil. Try a 0.9. Oh, sweet. Well, congratulations, State of the Art, for getting the comic book release. That is a huge undertaking. I haven't even released this yet, so that's awesome. Drawing classes in Seattle area. I wish I knew. Wait, yes I do. What am I talking about? I think if, who's asking? Anonymous, if you go, I think there's an art store in U District, you know, near University of Washington, or yeah, in U District. They have drawing classes there. So if you want to look that up, I can't remember the name of the art store, but it is located close to the Petco over there. So you could probably find it online. But yeah, it's near Petco. There's an art store, and that's the one that offers classes. Hope that helps, and I hope you actually get to do it because it's pretty awesome. It's a cool bookstore. I mean, art store. Oh, you're welcome. Let's see. We am here just working on some rewrites, so I get out of the last of my backlog. Really looking forward to getting these books now and working on a new IP I've been offered. What's the plan for Neo? Awesome. Congratulations. Unintelligent design. What was the question? I'm sorry. What's the plan for Neo? So I'm gonna do the Kickstarter. As soon as I get like 6 issues done, maybe even 12 actually, then I'm gonna probably solicit to get it put into get a distributor, or to books, to comic shops. So as soon as I get comfortable with how far ahead I am, then I'm gonna put it in comic shops, but not right now though. I'm gonna focus on getting this done the way I want it done first, and getting the first story arc out, and then so that's the plan. I'm gonna eventually get it into shops. Let's see here. Just jumping around so I could get as much of their faces done as possible. Just got a beach ball and painted orange. I'm doing a series of full color drawings of famous couples from history and mythology. I'm making a drawing of Raja and Krishna from Hindu mythology. Oh, cool. So I'm assuming you're gonna have like Cleopatra in there as well. So right now I'm not like, nothing's definitive. I'm just, it feels like I'm just moving my hands, but I'm just laying things out to see if I have to adjust anything, and it's going to be pretty rough. And then when I'm done, David Finch does this. You basically go in there and erase lightly, and then go in there and finalize the lines. So. Robbie's echo again. Oh gosh, my echoing sucks. I should just stop talking. It's a sign. So Echo says, yeah, that's the same trick that Frank Cho does in his drawing demos. Once he has sketched his subject, he lightly erases and goes back to finalize the thickening the lines. Echo's gone. Oh, awesome. Yeah, the echo comes and goes. I don't know what to do with that. I'll figure it out. I think we'll figure it out next week for sure. Yeah, it's a good trick because and Michael Turner does this too, right, Vince? I think Frank told me that everybody he teaches, he's kind of like don't use a light box, or try not to, because you get all this movement in these lines. And I know that Mark Silvestri doesn't use a light table either. He just, so you get all that movement and beautiful lines to pick from. And because once you light box it, you do lose a lot of fluidity and gesture. So I think that's what I was looking for. So I do a bit of both. It all depends on what I'm drawing and what it's for. Sometimes I have to use a light box. You know what, JD, I actually love drawing with ballpoint pen as well. I haven't seen any of Frank's ballpoint art, but I should check it out, because it also trains you not to erase and everything too. So, and you get all that movement, which is desirable. Gesture, and it adds more volume to your artwork faster too, because once you light box, you have to go back in there and add all the volume, and it looks kind of stiff without all the sketch lines and stuff, you know. So Vince, what week are you playing John? Is it this week? I've never saw him use one much. I haven't ever seen a light box at Aspen for years. I think Peter might own one at home. Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. I don't think I've ever seen Peter using it either. I mean, and if I was more decisive about what I was doing, I probably wouldn't have to use it either. But in fact, this is the light box that I use right here. So it's a Huon, and it's a big one. Don't know what size it is, but I think it's like 12 by 18 or something. Cho's cross-hatching is crazy good. I don't doubt it. Magical posters. Hi, remember me? Yes, I do. Magical posters. What mechanical pencil are you using? Is that more expensive? I'm only using a cheap one. I think cheap mechanical pencils are great. I'm sure this is a little bit more expensive. It is a Pentel 120A3DX, and this is a 9mm. So it's thicker, because what I was doing is I was using this one, and I was pressing hard, so it just broke. And this is an 05. So I moved up. I'm using an 09 right now because I'm pressing so hard. So. His eye was not straight, so we need to make a new one. Maybe it's the pencil. Vince, does John really have a chance? I shouldn't talk smack because guess who might lose this week? Me. Because I'm playing Rob, and Rob is 8-0, isn't he? So I might lose my spot this week. Frank already climbed, which was insane. So, yeah. I'll just noodle around with his face in a little bit, but for now I'm going to go down to his outfit and his sword. Kitana. Talking smack is the best part of fantasy football. Yes, it is. And you know who talks the most smack? It used to be me, because I know I wasn't all that great, and then I'll talk smack just because it was just silly and funny. But I've gone away from doing that a little bit, and now John's talking more smack, and Frank is talking smack, and Vince is talking smack. So it's hilarious. I like Vince's one-liners. The giant this week. You want me to slay the giant with like, well, you know, at least Matthew Stafford, he stepped up, and I was so shocked, and I was talking so much smack about Joe Burrow, and then when he got injured, I'm like, good riddance. But I love the kid, you know. Okay, Kai Guy, thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us. See you later. Yay. And thank you for stopping by and hanging out like live. I know that it's an odd time of the day and day of the week as well. Hello, Prime One Collector. What's up? Thank you for joining us. We're just chilling here, I think. You know, sometimes I get kind of complacent, and I forget that you guys are there, and I want to make faces, and then I also want to start talking like Bob Ross, you know. Just gonna draw happy little arms and a grouchy little kitty cat. We're gonna give him a little friend here. We're gonna give my kitty cat a knuckle sandwich. Could traditional art become more valuable after the advent of AI? Gurkhan, yes, I honestly think so. I think traditional art and seeing the process is going to make art more valuable, you know. And I think more people are going to start doing it, because I was at Michael's, you know, buying the gouache and the, you know, art supplies a couple days ago, and you know, I've been going to Michael's for years, and for a while it felt kind of dead, like no one was there. This last week there were so many people buying supplies, and it wasn't just students, it was like all sorts of age groups and everything, just buying art, because I think more people are starting to do it, and I have friends and family who've started drawing and making more art, so it's kind of crazy how that works, but I guess it's bringing something out of people. The more digital everything is, the more we gravitate, I feel like, towards just real life, just things, you know, experiencing things in real life. Like, that's why camping was so important, and that was kind of the joke behind, like, what does a moose have to do with creating a cyberpunk comic book? And the joke is, well, the juxtaposition between me creating something about the digital, you know, about the future and artificial intelligence and stuff, and then wanting to experience life, you know, firsthand, touching, like I said, touching grass. It drives me to do it more, you know, so to experience more, and I didn't realize how much I needed it until we started driving, and I think halfway to Yellowstone I was like, you know what, I really needed this. It was so refreshing. It doesn't hurt that we got to see moose and bison, and you're quickly reminded, like, you're like at the bottom of not the bottom, but you're definitely not the apex predator in that sense. If it was just me and a grizzly bear, I think I wouldn't make it. So. I haven't seen moose before, and so this year is the year I've seen the most moose ever in my life. Oh, so Wimslore, you have noticed Michael's getting busier. That's so cool to hear, though. Welcome goes Fezzy returns. Maybe I'll be Bob Ross for Halloween. With the full-on... He has a mustache, doesn't he? Sometimes, or a goatee. I'm trying to remember. I know he has his hair, and I got the same color shirt that he has, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to wear this shirt the way he wears it. He looks so cool. And I want to read the new Speed Racer comics from Mad Cave Studios. Oh, cool! I didn't know they had a new Speed Racer. Yell at my players in person. Oh, Vince, you're going to the game? How cool is that? Yeah, dude, yell at the players in person. That's hilarious. Or what if you're checking like your phone and you're yelling at your phone and they think you're yelling at the players on the field, but you're just yelling at your phone because you're not doing so good or something? That's hilarious. Joshua, he has a full beard and mustache. Well, I guess I'm going to have to do that, aren't I? I bet y'all get a lot of candy if I dressed up as Bob Ross and talked like him. Too bad I don't know if I could paint like him. I haven't tried painting with a palette knife or the fan brush in years. And it'd be cool if you sketch some happy little trees in the background to get into the Bob Ross vibe. Oh man, I could totally do that. You know what? Maybe. So I'm planning on launching the Kickstarter on the 28th. So maybe when I could probably do a couple of live streams and I could dress up on Halloween, and we could paint happy little trees. That would be fun. So maybe. Oh, I don't know if I could back out of it now because I think we made it a thing. So it could be Bob Ross for Halloween. And maybe I could channel some Bob Ross in my art too. The joy of painting comics. Yeah, I would be painting comics. Maybe I could paint one of the covers that day so that we are painting. Oh, State of the Art, you've been watching them since you were a little tyke. You know, honestly, I remembered we didn't have a TV yet at the time, but we went to our neighbor's house or something, and I think I saw Bob Ross for the first time. I went and sat right in front of the TV, which I don't know if that was good for my eyesight, but that's when I was like, I want to be an artist just like that. He was so happy to do what he was doing, and the way he explained everything made so much sense, and it was simple even for a little kid like me to understand what he was doing. And I wanted to be as good as Bob Ross. I think even in high school I thought I was gonna be a painter like Bob Ross. So, but I was obviously eyeing comic books even in high school. Am I not showing his arms? Halloween special. Okay, we're gonna have to make this happen. My hair's so long though. I don't know if I have to buy like a wig or something, or if I could. I don't know if I could do it. It'd be fun though. I think he and I have kind of the same hair color. I have to figure out a way for you guys to let me know if you guys do dress up for Halloween. Let me know in the chat when we do the Halloween special live stream what you guys are dressed up as, if you do dress up. I feel like I'm kind of, now I have to do it. Oh yeah, Echo, the Deadpool, I remember that. I thought it was funny. Kind of, you know, in Deadpool creepy humor, it was so funny though. I think my favorite part of Deadpool Wolverine was when he wanted the dog really bad. Was it a dog or no? It was a cat. And he looked at the other Deadpool, like the Canadian Deadpool, and he's like, you know, he looked like he wanted him dead. So I thought that was funny. I need my character sheet. Here, while I look. Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh, nice pull. Is that? That's what it was. Man, that was a while ago. I can't believe I don't remember some of the stuff in the movie, but it was good fun. Some of the scenes are a bit too much for me in terms of like how bloody it got. But I was like, okay, I get it. It's Deadpool. I'll just let it happen. And I have to consider that for my own book because it's like show not tell, but don't show too much. So I don't want it to be, it's not necessarily for all ages, but at the same time, I want it to be accessible to, a wide-ranging people of certain ages, and in case parents, see the kitty cat and they're like, oh, it's a cute book, we should get it for our kid, and it's like, I don't want it to be too violent. So, what was really fun was Nice Boy variant didn't have the same regenerative healing factor like the other Deadpools. Oh no, I know. Do you have enough ink left? I think I might. I think I do. I have like one jar I didn't open up yet, and then I think usually with inking, one jar could last me a few issues, so I could probably ink the whole entire thing and it would be okay. Are the concepts going to be in sketchbook? Yes. Oh yeah. I got so many sketches, you guys. I accumulated 10 years worth of sketches for this book, so you'll get some bad art in there too, like really old stuff, which I've shown you guys before, the embarrassing pages I used to do. And I actually even have like an old flyer that I did for the comic book years ago when I thought I was going to release it, right out of college, and it was really bad art. And that was like the early stages of me using Photoshop to color, so let's see how far we could get with his outfit in like 15 minutes. I want to sharpen this so bad, so you know what, I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife. It's going to make a mess here. You're right, there's no such thing as bad art, but I could say there's such a thing as art I don't like that I do. Or it doesn't communicate what I was trying to communicate in my brain. So that to me is what I consider bad art. Making a mess. Need this thing sharpened, but I don't want to walk over to my pencil sharpener, so I'm just using my X-Acto knife and just spraying wood everywhere. I've got so much stuff on my desk, it's like I could barely move my arms. Okay, that's sharp enough. Oh yeah, look at that. Whew. Nice and sharp. Okay, not bad. Not a huge mess. Oh, really, Echo? I didn't know that I forgot that he was in the new Naked Gun, and I didn't. You know what's funny about Liam Nielsen? He's so unassuming, but his comedic timing is impeccable. So I think I'll check it out. That's funny. I remember that movie back when I was growing up or as a kid. The old movies. Okay, so synced outfit. Let's not overthink this, and let's just draw really fast and see where we go, because I want to feel like I've actually, given you guys something to leave with instead of like just a bunch of sketchy lines. I have to channel my inner Bob Ross. Happy little chicken scratches. I like these black wings because the lead is so soft that when I erase it, doesn't leave like marks on it, so it's cleaner. But then maybe I'll use the other pencil. Oh, cool. Echo, when did that movie come out? Naked Gun with Liam Nielsen. My camera keeps shutting off every half an hour. Hi everyone, does anyone know what a good place to get feedback on art and comic panels? Where did I miss? Mail concept, sorry, I don't really know anywhere. Speaking of... Hello Michael, what's up? Okay, so the movie just came out, and good place. So my main concept asked work to get feedback on art. Ryan Benjamin was talking about like they had these classes. I'm trying to remember what the classes were called, but if you check Ryan Benjamin's YouTube channel, I think he might have something about that, or his Instagram. I could link to him below, unless you guys want to put the link in the chat for Ryan Benjamin's YouTube and Instagram. They do something with there was other teachers, like Will Spataccio was also one of the instructors, and yeah, they actually teach exclusively comic book art. So, and yeah, if you have comic book conventions and stuff, and Vince, any idea where someone could get feedback on their stuff that's what they do all the time? Because I know you're super swamped with everything in the Kickstarter coming up, so you're probably not gonna have any time to look. But yeah, usually they have like portfolio reviews or just But I think what you want, you're not asking for a portfolio review, right? You're just asking for like feedback consistently on your stuff, which is very important, more so than just showing up and showing what you've already done if you're trying to learn. I guess that makes sense. Thank you so much, Arthur, for the super chat, and for all your support again, like all the time. And it was like, I always say this because I have such fond memories of being in Amsterdam at Hank's, and you were there a couple times. That was so much fun. I'm excited for the Kickstarter too. I'm excited and nervous as heck because there's a lot to do and I don't want to overlook anything. But lucky for me, Frank is helping out. So, where are we at here? Yes, I don't have a substantial portfolio as of yet. I'm planning a one shot to get done in 3 months or so, but would like feedback first. Thanks for the suggestions. I would suggest finding a Facebook fan page of artists you like and asking for feedback on your work if it's allowed. You'll get better answers than just the general public social media. Vince, that is so true. Very true. Him and Ryan Benjamin are some of the greatest artists in the business. Yup. Art focused Discord servers have been the best source of feedback. They usually have channels called feedback, and lots of Twitch streamers have them. Oh, okay. Thank you, Poodle Attack. That's awesome. At John, I hear you have like 3 arch rivals these days. Did I miss what Vince, my arch rival, Vince? I missed that. Yeah, Vince, John does have more than, he has like 3 or 4, everybody. I have to go back and check the chats that everybody's his arch rival. I feel like we got somewhere today. But knowing how I am and how much I actually like my thumbnail, I might have to do this. Take a step back and then obviously not go crazy and erase because I spent all this time drawing it, but see where I want to improve. And I think next stream I'm going to show you all the stuff that I was working on while you guys were watching, and so you can see the progress, and I could kind of explain how long it took in my approach and stuff like that. So for all the stuff that I did off camera, because I'm still learning how to talk and draw at the same time. I think if I get really good at it though, it'd be pretty amazing. Then I could do it at conventions, you know. Speaking of, I'm going to be in Orlando in February for a convention. I cannot remember the name off the top of my head of which convention it is, but I will let you guys know. And please, if you'd like any updates up until the pre-launch pages, up until I get the pre-launch page going for Kickstarter, please sign up for the newsletter. The link is up above and in the video description at neowonderland.com. And then I'll let you know as soon as the pre-launch page is available for you guys to check everything out. And I think I might make like a little special exclusive for everybody here in the chat, and also who's signed up to the newsletter. So there's special perks, I guess, or inside jokes, because you guys have given me so much support and content to put in my book, and just your feedback is really helpful. It's like having my own little art studio here. So I think I owe you guys that much, you know. So we'll figure out some cool stuff to give away. And also, if you do sign up, please verify by checking your email. Like, I think it sends you like a verification email, and some people don't see it, so they don't verify that they signed up, and so it's kind of like, because it'd show up on my end that someone's trying to sign up but they didn't verify, and that's just to protect you guys and the website from spam bots and stuff like that. So go into your email. Vince Hernandez, haha, sideshow. It happened, please beat up Frank. I really haven't either of them posted yet, made an announcement about it. Nice, I haven't seen either of them. Did I Robert Kirkman? Oh yeah, that's right. And David Finch, they have a new book out. It looks amazing, of course. I think neither of them posted an announcement about it. I think they were actually Echo. I think they were talking about it on a few podcasts. Like Kirkman was on Ink Pulp podcast, one of my friends' podcasts, and I think he was somewhere else talking about the book, maybe with Todd McFarlane, I think. So I'm gonna draw the city. It's gonna be like a silhouette of the city, and it's gonna kind of fade into the characters, of course. And I gotta get rid of this negative space right here too, so put something right here, I think. Oh, awesome. Well, congratulations, Richard. As soon as your graphic novel is done, let us know what the name is and where we could get it at. Or, you know, just show some samples of it. That'd be really cool. It's really an accomplishment to get this kind of stuff done. I mean, even I'm like, I've been drawing for a long time and I still don't feel like, it just never feels like anything's going to come out until it comes out, right? OAX Orlando? Yeah, Rugrat Spawn. Yes, that's the one I'm going to be at. I'm pretty sure. Let me verify, but I'm pretty sure that's the one I'm supposed to be at. They announced me last week, I think, with a few other round 3 announcements. So I cannot wait to go to Universal Studios and to Disney World. I have never been, always wanted to, of course. Always wanted my Mickey Mouse ears. So now I might get to. I'm actually surprised I got this far, to be honest with you. I'm probably gonna change his face expression, the tilt of his face, and I'm definitely gonna change Shin. He looks so like a prep. He's definitely not a prep. I'm gonna do that later. Don't like his face. Awesome, thank you, Richard. Well, congratulations again. Seriously, even if you're almost at the finish line, I mean, I know how much work that is, so that's awesome. Originally 42 pages, so finished through it all on double-sized pages. Wow. Ballooned to over 200 pages, so it took David a lot longer than planned. That's freaking awesome. Amazing. I need to go find those pages that you speak of David Finch's. Yeah, congrats, seriously, Richard, or anybody right now in the chat who's doing your own thing. Like, I know how much work that is, and Vince understands how much work that is. So, you know, being an editor, writer, all these years, like, to put something out that you create is like so rewarding, regardless of how you feel about it at the time. It's just worth it to do it, you know? That's what I'm doing. I'm not going to be happy with everything, but I have to get it out there. So thank you guys for hanging out with me all the time and watching me process through everything as well. It actually helps every time you ask me questions. I think I have to think about something when I normally don't usually think about it, and it actually, my knowledge base feels like it's expanding and I understand what I'm doing a lot more than just me and my little my own head not letting it out there. So I think when I have a little bit more time, maybe I could start a Discord for comic book stuff, so you guys could kind of always hang out and chat and figure things out and promote each other's work and kind of support each other. I'm sure there's probably a few out there, but I'm just curious to see how they're like. I had a Discord for a little bit, but it's so confusing because there's so much going on, and I'm too stubborn to learn a new platform right now. So because I'm so busy with this comic book. Oh my gosh, seriously? Maybe that's a sign that, like, my tech is like, haha, you don't know what you're doing, so we're just gonna mess with you. I will be at OAX in February. Sweet, Michael, that's awesome. I've never been to Florida. I might die of heat, you know, like humidity, because I heard it's really bad or thick, and I'm used to Hawaii, but then I think I heard Florida is probably a little bit more. I know Georgia was crazy hot or humid, and Atlanta was really, really hot. So, fun fact, doing my first and only visit to Disney World as a kid, I was a contestant on a show called Double Dare. Ah, that's awesome! Why does that sound? I think I might have seen Double Dare. I remember that. That's so cool, Vince. Yes, please. Okay, cool. We'll try to do that. We'll try to do the Discord. I would love that, so I could keep up with everyone making things. Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, we could have our own little extended Discord for everybody who's chatting here, so that we could constantly be in contact and kind of support each other. I think it's super important to do that in a positive, productive way, you know. I think you guys are all familiar with each other now, so, or for the most part. I just got to Orlando about an hour ago. Brought my kids down to go to the new Epic theme park. Ooh. Yeah, I have not been to a theme park in a long time. Never been to Disneyland. Only been to the Disney Mall, and I got like a couple Star Wars shirts, and that was it. Never got to go inside. And Georgia is crazy. I live there. Yeah, I think we were standing outside of waiting to get into a restaurant. It was Frank and I and some of the Aspen guys. And I swear it was so hot. You could take a quarter and you could stick it on someone's skin and it wouldn't come off. It would be like flypaper. So Hawaii is humid, but it's, it's near water, so it's not nearly as unbearable, I guess. Yeah, I'm sure it's beautiful. I've seen pictures of it. Been busy inking, so just joining now. Hello, Peter. Awesome. So I think we could probably do a Discord, right? Like as soon as I figure this whole thing out, or refigure it out again, and get my login and stuff. Are there any talks or plans for a new art FCO art book anytime soon? Studio P4VA. I would love to do an art book after I finish this Kickstarter, because I got so many new sketches and stuff that I want to put out there. I would love to do that. And I want like a higher quality sketchbook, so I think that would be kind of cool. There's a Nickelodeon show when the kid is slimed. Oh yeah, I remember that show. So yeah, Double Dares when kids got slimed. I remember seeing that. Has anybody accidentally eaten slime like the ones you'd get with the Ninja Turtles and the Ghostbuster toys? I mean, the smell is just like, ugh. But I think I've seen my friend, try to eat it. Ew, it was just like, oh my God, it was so gross. Luckily he spit it out though. Do we have a Discord? It would be nice to have a See Home Artist Community Discord similar to Jim Lee and David Finch. You know what? Let me look at my login again. I got it like a couple years ago and I never did anything with it. But yeah, that's a good idea. I'll make it simple so there's not a bunch of different tabs and it's just like overbearing and you guys get all confused. I'll make it as basic and as necessary as you guys would want, like critiques and, updating everybody on your projects and stuff like that. And yeah, sharing your work. That'd be awesome. Oh, Vance, that's funny. Do we have a Discord? Okay, so I'm gonna, I think, attempt his face one more time, and then I think I'll call it done for now. So I'm gonna do Shin's face, or try to. Okay, so we're good with the Discord. Awesome. Let me look into that again. Yeah, it's been a couple years. And if you guys want to maybe in the comments suggest to me what kind of tabs, what sections you want on the Discord, I will go ahead and create that for you. That would be fun. And then I'd have a reason to use it again. Because when I had it, I'm like, what am I doing here exactly? Because everybody was on either Instagram or Twitter and Facebook, so I didn't really feel the need to do it. But I think that now that we've been doing live streams and there's more of us like talking about art, it'd be kind of cool. And I did not know Jim Lee and David Finch had their own Discord, so that's cool. And you know what, that would be kind of fun if you guys could just show me some of your work, and I'm not going to critique it necessarily, but I could help you along if you need me to, because I don't know if I'm like the best at it. And I'll make sure to force Vince into my Discord so he could help out too. See what I did there, Vince? I'm about ready to give up on this character. It wouldn't be a Discord server without a music channel. True, that is true. Publish work, promote, discussion, things like that. Awesome. Yes, simple is better. Looking at another really fun stream today. Thank you, JD. I never know when I go into like not sketching yet and then trying to sketch on camera. It's like, how is this going to turn out? Oh, thank you, Richard. You guys keep me on my toes, so I'm forever grateful for that, because it's easy not to, when it's your own project, to move along. Because you always have things that you think that you would do just so that you could get a paycheck, but at the same time, I feel like I have these stories I want to tell, and if I don't get to tell them, I'd be very, very sad. I think I was talking to Vince about that. Like, you have all these stories you want to tell, and you don't want to not ever put it out there. So, he's not looking mischievous enough. Oh, just look at the character reference. Moderator Vince to the rescue. All right. Okay, you guys are all gonna be on my Discord. It's as if we're streaming live on YouTube. So it's gonna be fun. I'll make it fun. We could share things about video games and movies if you want to. It'll be fun. He's not just a regular about it, but he does publish the videos here on YouTube. May have missed this earlier. Thoughts on having the character sheet as a print in the Kickstarter? Oh, no, I didn't know. Yeah, it's a good. If you want the character sheet for a print of it, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I could do that. Simple enough. Oh yeah, I am gonna have a print in the Kickstarter itself. I haven't figured out what piece of art or arts pieces I'm gonna have as a print. I guess if I start the Discord before, what I could do is show you guys the pieces that I have planned for the Kickstarter, and you can tell me which ones you think could be prints or maybe a specific cover and stuff. Any ideas you could have, I may have. Kind of cool. And if you want like specific tutorials, I guess, as well, I could do something specific for the Kickstarter. Awesome, Rob. You're going to draw today. Nice. Doggone it. Aw. I'm lighting fires, right? In that belly. That's what I'm here for. Trust me, I need constant motivation to draw all the time, because I do it so much. It's like I want to, approach it the way that I did as a kid, where I'm excited. And honestly, lately I've been really excited to do this stuff. So my comic book. I think it's the inking. I think I like the inking. And the coloring, and the drawing, and the writing. I kind of switch back and forth between what the aspects of creating a comic book that I like. I have to say, ironically, even though I used to be a colorist, the one thing I kind of drag my feet with is coloring right now. I think once I'm done inking, I'm like, okay, I don't want to color, but we've gotten a few pages done already. I think I printed out one of them. It's not completely done, but super tiny though. Maybe I'll just print it out next week so you guys could see all the pages I've colored. Yeah. I think it's because I'm sitting down, so I can't really draw him as nice as or he doesn't look right. Let's see here. I'm just going to indicate his forehead right here. Oh, spoiler. Okay. You guys remember this page, right? With the smiley face and the vampire teeth. getting punched in the face. Yeah, I get it, Michael. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it'd be nice to get someone to help with that stuff. So, coloring, bam. uh, Echo Dave recently did a podcast. He wants to bring Monday Night Draw back soon. Apparently, he's convinced Meredith to go back to fingers crossed, Finch Flocked for life. Aw, yeah, I know. You know, he's got a lot of really good episodes, but I'd have to watch through all of them. He also does live streams on its website, and Jim Lee was featured there before. I think once to give away in another one he did recent Comic Con. Oh, nice. And colors. I still have to color the pages though. I'll start on the 13th. So what I basically did, because of the Kickstarter, I had to color a few of the pages ahead of time so that there's finished pages for people to see of the interior art. So I'm almost done with all 5 of them. I'm just going in there and like refining some of the stuff, adding all the holographic graphics into the pages, because that is a pain in the arse. Because I don't want to just put random things on the holograms. I want them to forward the story to some extent. So yeah, I'm almost done with all of that, and so I'm sure by next week you guys are going to see the finished pages. Robert Slavey asked if I'm doing the variant cover for Echoes. Vince, can you answer that for me? Echoes cover, variant cover. Pain in the neck, but then we lowered our opinion. Always want it to be perfect. Hello, Zane. Oh, thank you, TM. Let me see here. Do I want to do anything else before I ruin this piece? Because I always noodle. And then there's too many lines and I'm just like, shoot. Just sometimes I need to walk away from it. That's what it is. And if given the option or time, it's always best to walk away, come back and look at it with fresh eyes. Because squinting to see your shapes only works, so much. And then there's a little bit of like your exhaustion from thinking, I guess. Burning a lot of calories right now. And I guess the other thing I could do is bring my mirror back and then look into the mirror to see how everything looks backwards, because that always helps. Now it's just mostly detail, so. All right, you guys. I think this is as far as we'll get this today. I haven't watched this channel a lot, but first time live. Oh, awesome! Elseworld Studios. Thank you so much for stopping by. I was just done. I think I'm gonna call this sketch done for now. So sketch. So then I go back in and just erase and start to, like, let's say right here, and add in the finer details with my 2mm lead pencil. Oh, so quick story about Jim Lee. Of course, he was the first artist that made me want to draw comic books. Was I did the DC Warner Brother workshop. What is it? Workshop years ago. What is it called? The apprenticeship. And we got to have dinner with Jim Lee, and that was like such an amazing moment for me to be able to say that I got to see Jim Lee and meet him and stuff and listen to him say funny and silly things. But I reached out to him years ago on, I think it was MySpace, and I messaged him and I said how much I loved his stuff and how he inspired me. This was before I actually even worked at Aspen, and he gave me some really good advice and feedback. So Jim Lee was really down to earth and very nice. So I mean, those are the two moments I actually got to interact with him. So that was my quick Jim Lee story. Very, very quick. So yes, so when I do go back and refine the lines if I need to, like if there's a part that when I ink it won't look right if I don't know what I'm drawing, or see, like there's certain things that have to be very specific and refined for me to ink it. So echo again. My God, what's going on with my tech? Weird. I'm afraid to talk now. Whatever. So I need to refine certain parts so that I could ink it, because if I don't, and I don't know what I'm doing, it's going to look kind of wonky. So I try to go echo does a final attack before the stream. I know. Why do you hate me so much, OBS? So assuming that's what it is. But yeah, I'll go ahead and finish by saying, like, yeah, I have to ink like the face, or not ink, pencil the face perfectly so that when I go in and ink, it looks right. Some things I could get away with not refining too much, but other things, like, they have to be really tight for me to ink. So yes, I'm gonna start using this thing. I think it's the same pencil that David Finch uses, and a lot of artists use this pencil. So 2mm Stadler. Alrighty, you guys. Thank you to everybody who hung out with me for the full 2.5 hours, you guys, and coming back from camping, and welcome to everybody that just stopped by. I know it's super late. I'm so sorry. We're about to wrap up right now, so yeah, you guys, let's do a Discord and we'll figure that one out. I will figure it out. Actually, this tech stuff is like the last thing I want to figure out right now, since I could barely draw. So it was really nice hanging out with you guys again, and I will see you guys sooner than later. And if I get the Discord ready to go before that, I'll probably jump on live, and then we'll chat about the Discord so that you guys know about it, and I'll put it in my blog post as well. So thank you guys for hanging out with me again. You have a good evening, and I know some of you it's probably super late and then super early, so this was a lot of fun, you guys. Alrighty, well, have a good rest of your, I guess, Sunday. So I will see you again next weekend. I love you guys. Bye.